Starting. You are live. Lush Louisville. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Hope it's been a good week for everybody. It's good. Well, a good 4 days, I guess we should say. Had to. I've got some special news this week. This coming Saturday, my best friend, Katie Gobb, she is getting married, and so I didn't really want to take a whole week off for the podcast because today we've got a very, very special guest. My best friend is getting married this Saturday, and so I can't do the podcast then, but I wanted to do it today. We have a very special guest, and I'm really looking forward to it. But you know, my friend, a little more about my friend Katie. I've known her for literally since before I was a year old, and she's getting married on Saturday. Is crazy, and I am a bridesman. So originally I was supposed to, you know, during the wedding I would stand with the bridesmaids, but because she's literally my best friend, I've known her forever. But now it's kind of worked out where I'm going to be standing with the groomsmen. So you know, it's still going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to seeing all her friends and her family, and I'm really looking forward to it. And so yeah, how's everybody's week? What Tyler, I got her brother here in the chat. It's crazy. He says it's crazy, isn't it, man? I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. It's been, 23 years. 20, 22, 23 years. I guess Katie's not 23 yet, but she'll be 23 like a week after her wedding. So, but man, can't believe it. But how's everybody else's week? Tyler, what you been up to, man? I haven't seen you in, dude, forever. Heard you got a new job. What you up to, man? Everybody else, what's everybody else? Anybody had big plans this week? Do anything big? I know I've really just been working, trying to get this money. Hopefully I'm about to get a second job. Really looking into that. Tyler says it's been a ride. It has been a ride. Long time coming. So, yeah, so this week, this is Lush Louisville episode 7. I'm here shining light on Louisville native creatives here, and shining light on them and their work, and getting them some exposure, getting their stories, you know, their backgrounds, what they do, how they got started with what they're doing. And it's been super good so far. You know, we've had a lot of good guests on here. I've been consistent with it, and I appreciate everybody that tunes in with it. And yeah, I've been super excited. Pretty much every show is always a blast. So, yeah, this week we have an artist here on Lush Louisville who goes by Kyren. She is a female artist here in Louisville. She's super cool. I've known her probably about 2 years now, 2-ish years. I met her at a recording studio here in Louisville, 400 Recording. So, yeah, we're going to get her in on the Zoom. She's got a new single and a really cool that she released not too long ago, and she's got a really cool story to share with us. So let's get her in here. All right, let's get her in. Joining. Yo, what's up?
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Everybody hearing her?
Okay.
Let's see what she got. Yes, you sound good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm super excited
Absolutely.
to tell you guys everything and to be on here. So it's awesome. Thank you.
Yes, Sarsky.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it. Really glad to have you on here. So, you know, Kyren, tell us a little bit about yourself. How was what's your background in Louisville? Where'd you kind of grow up?
Yeah, sure. So I grew up on like Southside Preston Highway. It's like kind of like a more of a suburb of Louisville. And I started getting into music at a young age. Yeah, I kind of grew up with a group of friends who did music and some who like didn't. Here we are today. So I guess it worked.
Yeah, nice. So where all did you go to school growing up?
Where did I go to school?
Yeah.
So I went to a lot of different schools. I was kind of like the new kid
Oh yeah.
And we would move around. I went to private school and I went to public school. So my early life was a lot of like moving around because my dad would change jobs, and
Yeah.
it was really cool because, you know, you got to have like, I always had the people who were like, you know, pretty close knit with me. And then I got to meet a lot of new people and have a very diverse group of friends. So for that, I'm really thankful.
Yeah. Cool. So, you were saying that, you started, well, you said a lot, some of your friends did music and some didn't. Speak on that. Like, was that kind of how you got started hanging out with that group of friends, like in music? Were you from hanging out with them, or have you always been into music?
Yeah. So I had a lot of friends who were in like the post-hardcore and like metal scene here in Louisville, like when I got to be a teenager,
Nice.
in high school. And so I was going to a lot of house shows. And if you guys know anything about like the post-hardcore scene and like the metal scene, it is alive and well in Louisville, and it's so awesome. There's a lot of really, really cool people in it. And yeah, I
Yeah.
just kind of like grew up around that and around that kind of scene. And that was like the Louisville music scene, like shows at Spinelli's,
Yeah.
shows at like, you know, like I said, like people's houses.
Right.
So it was really cool to experience like that genre of music, because that's so far from what I do. But I love it, and I very much so respect it.
Yeah. Well, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm sure the Spinelli shows, that was speak on those. What were those like? And just various other venues around that you performed coming up. Like, what are those like?
Yeah. A lot of house shows, a lot of house shows. Those were always kind of the thing because, you know, like typically for the shows, they would be like 18 and up. So like me and my friends, we would all go to house shows because we could get in. But some of them, you know, weren't, you couldn't go to them. But yeah, yeah, good times.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I haven't been to Spinelli's in a while, but I've heard of a lot of people performing there. Well, that's cool. That's awesome. Awesome story. So, you know, you you realize that you've kind of got a talent for music or a good ear for it, and when can you think of like, or kind of remember when exactly that was? I know you said, you were running around with these friends, but like, what exactly were the talents that you realized that you wanted to pursue them?
Yeah, that kind of didn't really like come until a little bit later. It was always like a thought in the back of my mind, and I always knew that music is kind of what I wanted to do and what I believe that I was born to do. Um, I think that I just had to realize that, and I had to really, really focus on my sound, and so very shortly after we met, I kind of went like MIA in the music scene, and just for like probably about 8 to 10 months, um, worked with Chris Dold at Urban Society, my music director and engineer, and we just created so much music. It
Yeah.
would just be like an every week kind of thing, going in there, um, you know, writing songs, working on stuff. And I think that I want to say shortly before that is where I really decided that, oh, I could do this. Like I can really, to the truest extent, go for this and try and make it, you know, as much as I want to and accomplish the goals as I do. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it took a long time for me to realize that this is, you know, what I wanted to do as a career essentially. Um, but it's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, I bet. That's speak about this girl, Crystal, or the girl you've been recording with. What's you said at Urban Society? Speak about that. What is that like?
Yeah.
How would you say working with her?
Well, Chris Dold,
Oh, Chris Dold.
he
Okay, okay.
is a Absolutely phenomenal engineer. He also is a producer as well. He is absolutely just phenomenal. And I am so blessed that we found each other and that he believed in my vision and trusted that as an artist. And he really helped develop my sound in like the early days. I'm just so thankful to have somebody that talented and that driven behind me.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Now, how did you meet him?
We met because we worked together at a music shop for a brief period of time. And he would always be like, I produce and I record. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then one day it just kind of happened.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, those relationships like that with people you meet, I mean, you never know, honestly. The biggest, someone you could meet that you have even have no idea who it is. It's like, you never know. It's the connections that you make now. You just gotta, what's the word? Hit them up all the time. Not all the time, but you never know where certain people with certain, talents or certain knowledge or other connections could take you. That's the biggest thing. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Continuing, yeah. So that's awesome. I'm glad you met Chris. Where is this place exactly? Like the studio that you've been recording, like in Louisville?
Yeah. So I've recorded a bit in Louisville. Chris's place is in a secret magical place that you only get to know of if you go there.
Oh wow, that's cool. Is it like a dope studio? Like really nice, like cool setting, like nice vibes, stuff like that?
Yes. Yeah, it is. Cool. It's a very it's a bit of a smaller studio, so it's really focused on you're in there and you're there to do work, and it's his desk, the booth, and I'm either at one or the other. So it's really cool. I like it.
That's awesome. I'm glad you get to do that.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Cool. So, you after you kind of went MIA on the music scene here in Louisville, did your kind of describe your creative process before you went MIA and now, and did it change or has it always been the same, or what's it like?
I think it changes. It definitely changes a lot. I think that whenever I go to write a song, whether I'm writing it for me or for another artist, I just try to like minimize distractions as much as possible. I am more of a pen and paper girl rather than like the notes section on your phone, like for lyrics. Yeah. And then typically like it just kind of starts where I'll sit down at a piano or with my guitar and I'll build a progression or I'll, think of like a hook on the spot. Yeah. It's a lot of trial and error, honestly. Like, really? Sometimes I'll try a verse out with one song and I don't really think it fits, so I'll swap it with another one. And I think what I found is that I'm a very lyrical storyteller, and that's my strong suit in music is telling a story. So yeah, it did definitely change. When I first started doing music, I didn't really know what I was doing, more or less. So it definitely changed. And I will say that I've really grown into the writer and the lyricist that I am today. And for that, I am immensely proud of myself.
Well, good. That's awesome. Yeah, I call it the creative process for a reason. It's totally and fully its own process. Now you kind of know how you work, how you want to work, things like that. Oh, that's awesome. That's super dope. Well, cool. Yeah. So, along going into your creative process, who are you listening to? Who's inspiring you, or who are you watching? Not just who you're listening to. Who inspires you?
Ooh. Yeah. I would have to say somebody who I really love is called Saint Vincent. They're a band, but their leading lady, Annie, she is this absolutely amazing vocalist, and they mix like electro pop with funk with rock. Very, very good. And the arrangement on the music is awesome. Her lyrics are beautiful. Her voice is wonderful.
Nice.
So St. Vincent, definitely. And Frank Ocean. I listen to a lot of Frank Ocean, and I'm always vibing out, especially now that it's summer. Like, I feel like, can you go a summer without listening to Frank Ocean? Because I can't.
Yeah, he is the man. He knows. He's like, I don't even really know how to describe him, but he is super, super. His music is so amazing. I feel what you're saying. He's definitely a summer, definitely in the summer for sure. I'm listening to him, but that's awesome. Anybody else? Anybody? Any local people that you're listening to that you really like?
Oh yeah, for sure. Corey Liner, she is one of my favorites right now. She is so cool. I think she has a song coming out next week too. But Corey Liner is a very, very talented young lady, and I love her. She it's kind of like an ambient pop, kind of like, I don't know, it very, very good. Also Mars, Joey Phantom, Braxton, always got love for Braxton. Sasha Renee. We're so blessed, I think, to have such an amazing music scene here, filled with so many creative people. I mean, sometimes like I look at our city and I'm like, this is, we have the talent, we have the drive, we have the art, we have the artists, we really do have a very unique situation where we live in a place that a lot of people make very, very good music.
Yeah, I agree. The talent here is super good, first of all, and there's a lot of, I guess you could say underground artists, a lot of up and coming artists. It's definitely slept on. The 502 come up is real for sure. And I agree. Yeah, I listen to Joey Phantom a little bit. I've been listening to Braxton. But yeah, totally. I think it's very important to support the local talent for sure. I mean, so that's cool.
Yeah.
What, let's see. Now, okay, so these inspirations, these people that you're hearing and listening to, how is that influencing your music? And first of all, how would you describe your music to people, the music that you make?
How would I describe my music to people?
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely describe my music as everyone's only heard one song. So when I say this, they're kind of like, yeah. But I would say that my music is strong vocals, ambient, definitely pop. Some people categorize me in like the trap pop scene, which is really cool, really cool. I would say like alternative pop.
Alternative pop. Cool. Yeah. So that's kind of leading into what I was going to ask you next. Your latest single, Heartbreaker, which I've got, I was going to say is definitely, I could hear like pop on that, definitely, and hear like the alternative pop sound, which exactly what you were saying. You said most people kind of say that. They're like, oh yeah, I could see that. Speak on that single, how did it come about, and then also you performed this on WHAS 11, correct? Live?
I did, yes. Okay. I sure did. Yes, yes. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So, basically, about a year and a half ago, Robert Calloway, Saint Engineering, introduced me to this producer in New York City, and his name is X on the Track. And for like the longest time, like I wanted to work with him, and I was really at the like infant stages. I hadn't even like decided on my artist name. I hadn't even like gone that route. So with good reason, nothing really came about for a long time with that. but but X always said that he kind of kept an eye on me, and he noticed that I was, going to LA, and I was going, to New York City, and I was going to Nashville, and I was just trying to like bounce between the hub cities. And this was prior to me even having management or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like the one woman show out on, the cusp, and trying to find anybody who would listen to my records. So I remember the day X DM'd me, and he was like, okay, we're going to work together, and we're going to make this happen. You're going to fly to New York, and you're going to record a single. So for a few months, he sent me some tracks, and I picked Heartbreaker because it just, at that point in my life, like when I heard that beat, I was just like, I can get on here and mess this up. Like I can like do some, I can do some harm on this beat. Like I heard it, and I was like, yeah, like this is the one. So I was writing to it, and I only had like the hook, because I know I wanted it to be about heartbreak, and I would just sing it in the car all the time. And then I got it finally finished out. I think I was like so nervous. Like I think Heartbreaker, writing it with just like the pressure, I was definitely feeling a little bit of the heat, just because it was such a big crew who was working on it. You have Danny Sardi, who has mixed stuff for SZA, for Jeremiah, like for like so many people, in the industry. And then you have Dan Malice, who's done, he has, 30 gold records on his wall. And X, oh my God, X is so talented. So I think that was like one of the real times I was like really feeling the heat. But I got it done. And we fly to New York City. And I recorded it, and I left the studio that night, and I just kind of like, my sibling was there, and I just kind of like looked over to them, and I was like, man, like, I really see this record going far. Like I really believe in this record, and I feel like I did the absolute best that I could have done with it.
Oh, that's good.
And and then the rest is kind of history. The rest, I met Philip Frazier, and he's my manager, I Salute Promotions on Instagram, and he definitely like steered me in the right direction. I was a very sporadic artist before, and I think he's kind of like put me on the path now, with his guidance. And I'm very, very happy and blessed to have such wonderful mentors.
Awesome. Yeah. What do you say you were a sporadic artist before? What do you mean exactly by that?
Before I had management, and before, like, I had never done this before. Like I was a model for like the longest time, before I was a musician. That's kind of what I did. So I guess I was just kind of jumping around from like opportunity to opportunity, and like, some of them would pan out, some of them wouldn't. And, I'd get really down on myself, but you have to learn that, in this industry, things are going to happen, you're not always going to get it. But, and I think that I was really like, when I was a little bit younger doing this, I think that I just had these like crazy high expectations, which there's nothing wrong with. I think every artist should hold themselves to higher expectations than your fans or your following holds you. You have to do better, as an artist, and just as a human. So I think that I just really like had to I had these unrealistic expectations in mind. And when I wouldn't hit them, I'd be like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? Which I'm sure people, you know, can definitely relate to.
Right.
But yeah. So eventually I just kind of got to the point to where I found a good path for me. So yeah.
Good. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good point, what you made about you have to hold yourself more accountable than your fans to yourself than your fans and everybody else does, because that's a good point. That's one of the reasons that your fans follow you and various other things too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, you know, I see that Heartbreaker had about what is it, almost 14,000 streams, 14K, is that correct? Or was it more?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
Isn't
that.
that crazy? I can't believe that. I still can't. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, is it going to go down? Like, I'm like, is it really true?
I don't think
and I know, like, to some people that's like, that's nothing. I do that in a week.
Yeah.
Good for you. This means so much to me and so much to our little group and like my friends and all the fans that are like listening to this song and who have kept streaming. So heck yeah, we did. Not to be cocky. I don't want to be cocky,
no,
but
that's amazing.
It was a big achievement.
It is a big achievement, and you should celebrate those accordingly, especially. I mean, those are, you know, you said you worked hard, you were feeling the heat, but you got it done, and you made a good song. And, yeah, so, okay, so you're kind of, talk to us a little bit about this guy, Philip, and I Salute. I mean, did he have anything to do with you getting on WHAS, or how did that all come about, that whole performance?
So, are you saying like, do I ever feel the heat?
No. I was saying like, I was saying that you should, since you were working so hard on that record and you even like were feeling the heat from it, I was just saying that you definitely deserve those 10,000 streams or more, however many it has. But what I was asking, absolutely.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, but what I was just asking was, how did the whole performance on WHAS 11, how did that come about?
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry.
That's all right.
If I'm like struggling to understand you, it's because there's just a bit of a lag on your audio.
Okay.
So WHS 11 came about. My manager knows one of the producers there at Great Day Live. And I've known about Great Day Live for like a long time. Like I used to watch it when I was like in high school. And there would always be just local people on there and everything. And sometimes there'd be musicians, and it was just something like, you know, after, it's typically at like 7 or 8 in the morning, you know, and for a while I was homeschooled. So I was like on the TV all the time watching the morning news, and it would typically come on right after. But yeah, and it was really, really cool just to see with Angie and the whole crew. It was really, really fun. When we got there, okay, so we like get there to the TV station and we're like going in and everything. And they just had like a paper that says like today's artist, Kyren, performing Heartbreaker. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's real. I'm going to be on TV. Somebody pinch me. But honestly, like the actual performance went by so quick. Like, I don't know, like a lot of people who have done live TV, I'm sure can like relate to this. It goes by in a blink of an eye. Like you're just all this waiting and all this preparation. And then when you finally get up there, cake.
Yep. That's why you practice.
Yeah.
What were your rehearsals like for that performance? Where did you rehearse there, or did you rehearse somewhere else?
We definitely rehearsed somewhere else just because they don't let you come in and rehearse there. You get a sound check. You get a very, very good long sound check. We had to all be there at like 5:30 in the morning. So we definitely got enough time to do everything. But yeah. We have a rehearsal space in downtown Louisville.
Cool.
that you guys will probably see us post a little bit more, hopefully in the coming months, from footage we have previously taken pre-corona, in the months past.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you're somebody here. Do you know Donovan Cole? Do you know who that is? Somebody named Donovan Cole.
Do I know who?
Yeah. Do you
who?
know
What was the question?
Do you know who Donovan Cole is?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Okay. Well, he said he was forever proud of you, and he sent a bunch of hearts. I don't know. I just thought you might know him.
Oh, maybe. I also can't really hear you too well, so I'm also watching the comments over here. So if you guys are commenting, then I will see it. Oh, Donovan Cole. Oh my God. Yes, yeah. I love you, Donovan. Yes, I love you, Donovan. I know who you are.
He said, "Girl, yes you do. Yes, you do know who I am." Okay.
Oh yeah.
Am I still nice. Is the audio better? Can you hear me?
I'm just looking at these. Oh, so good. Okay. I'm back. All right. Proceed.
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah, so let's see. Where were we? Okay. So in Louisville, who would you most like to collaborate with?
Ooh, okay, like Louisville artists.
Yes.
I think Mars is really far up there because I really like her style.
Yeah.
Joey, definitely. I think Joey and I could get on a track. Braxton. Q9. I think he'd be cool to do. I don't necessarily know if he's exactly from here. He might be from somewhere else, but he is kind of local to the area. Yeah, there's so many people I could think of.
Yeah.
I always say with collaborations, like, I definitely want to do collaborations. I definitely have some really cool stuff already written. Cool. And I also, I would just love that. But yeah. I think with collaborations, as long as the vibe is there and both people, make good music, then I think only more good music can come out of that.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. That's a very good point. That's awesome. Yeah, I know Mars just got that deal with RCA and John Woo not too long ago. Yeah. No, and that's so good. That is that makes me so incredibly happy just because I think more women in our music scene need the recognition, that they deserve. And they definitely need to, they've got a fantastic artist. She's really, really cool. So it's very exciting. Super cool. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So, what's, as an artist and, you've got fans and supporters, what's one message that you would want to give to them?
Okay. To fans?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say just be yourself and be yourself unapologetically. And just have the most fun with life because it is short and you never know how long you have. So live the life that you want to live and, achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Do what makes you happy. I think that's the takeaway.
Cool. And do you feel like you live by that, doing what makes you happy?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, of course. Yes. Although sometimes music is a job, as you know,
yep.
It is something that I see myself doing until the day I die. And what I do right now is the sheer purpose is because I love it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it, you know? And if I ever lose love for it, you know, I don't see that ever happening. I never ever see myself, you know, I never see myself not doing music in some type or form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm like 60 and like can't tour, then I'm like might become a writer or a manager or something. But I got a lot in me, and I'm just at the start of this. So from what I've seen, it's the best thing in the world.
Sweet. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. So, all right, we got some, one of the questions that we had is, what is the most useless talent that you think you have?
The most useless talent that I have is I can do a handstand, like without the wall. I'm not going to do it because I'm in a dress, but yes. And hey, it's a good party trick.
Yeah. Can you walk on your hands when you're doing a handstand?
Yes, I can.
Nice.
I can also like, yeah.
That's funny. Cool. So, do you sing in the shower? And
yeah, all the time. Yeah.
What songs are you singing?
Ooh, I like to sing ballads. A lot of Adele.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of Adele. Sometimes I'll like just sit there and like rap in the shower too. Like I'll put on my little Bluetooth speaker and I'll just go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yes, I sing and rap in the shower.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely do rap in the shower. So, you know, you kind of just speaking on this a little bit, you know, you were saying if there were to come a time, you don't think there would ever come a time when you wouldn't be doing something with music. But what do you think you'd be doing right now if you weren't doing music?
Ooh, I love that question, because there's probably an alternate universe where I never became Kyren. And that's scary to think about, that may or may not exist. I think that, I don't know, it's so hard to like figure out it. I know that this happened for a reason, so I don't necessarily know if I can elaborate on that. That's a really good idea for a music video though, like watching the two worlds. I don't know, but yeah. That's really that's a good question. However, I can't answer because this is what I chose. So I don't know how it would have gone, but I'm sure glad that this happened.
That's awesome. Yeah. Got to be thankful for what you're doing, you know?
Oh yeah. Very thankful.
So, you know, you are doing music. This is where you are. You've performed on WHAS. You've done venues like Spinelli's. Where else have you performed?
So I've never performed at Spinelli's. I don't know if that.
Oh, you were just. You were saying that you.
No.
Okay.
Never performed at Spinelli's. No. I grew up watching local shows there.
Oh, okay.
I have performed at Headliners, at Diamonds, and just a couple other like local venues. Open Art Gallery and Holly's Poorhouse. So.
Yeah, that Open Art Gallery. Where is that?
That was like a long time ago. That was like 3 years ago. They used to have open mics, and I was like all about the open mic scene when I was a little bit younger. But it's on campus. It's like right across from the stadium, the Louisville stadium.
Oh, Louisville. Oh, okay. Louisville's campus. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Now, which Diamonds? The one on in St. Matthews, or the one on Barrett?
Oh, sorry, Barrett.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I've been to that Diamonds like once in high school for like this like rave party thing, but I know they have like that big stage. It looks pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know people who play there pretty regularly. Yeah, so the Diamond show was like right before the shutdown.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, because
Yeah,
me and my
and
brother.
it was really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I got the chance to open for Infused Music. They're really cool. Shared the stage with some really, really, really cool people. Equity, J So Poetic, um, Faith, a bunch of people. So it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, I've been seeing some stuff about that guy Faith recently, just like on Instagram. He seems pretty cool, pretty dope.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's cool.
definitely.
That's cool. You got to perform with him, or did he like perform before you, or vice versa?
Um, yes, he performed before me. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now, especially so talking about right before the shutdown, you did a show, and then with quarantine shutdown, and not just right now, but overall, really in general, how do you think the internet has impacted the music business? And then also, as big what I would say relating it to quarantine, we can't have shows anymore. So how do you think that's impacted how do you think the internet has impacted all this?
I think the internet, great question. Great question. It's kept it alive. Because, the internet is a direct link with artists to their fans and to their following. And without that, who knows?
Right.
Without people to listen to, we're just all making music. So it's a very, very good thing that we are at a point in our history to where we have this technology readily available to us, and pretty easy to access. Not extremely easy if you're a newer artist, but it is a very, very good thing that we do have the internet, and that we have Zoom, and that we can
Right.
talk on a podcast like this.
Right.
And I am so, so thankful that I am alive and making music at a time where it's available to do so.
Definitely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been pretty interesting with all the, I've heard they're not even going to have any concerts until like 2021, which makes
Yeah.
sense, but that really does kind of suck.
Yeah, we did a live stream concert. You guys can watch it on my IGTV. We did a
There you go.
live stream concert at Ember Entertainment Studios. And that was really, really fun. Casey Powell and Annalie Durbin were my backing band, and we were like 6 feet apart, and they were wearing masks, but I was facing where no one was standing. I wasn't wearing a mask because I was singing, but I was facing to where no one was standing within a good 6 to 10 feet. So we did our absolute best to deliver a live stream concert that was as safe as we could have possibly had.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, in the midst of all this, and your career, and the ups and downs of the shutdown, and your new single, and what's the best advice that you've been given?
The best advice that I've been given was to get creative. And I think there's a lot of truth in that.
Sure.
Because, if we can't go out and perform for people, then how can we still do that? How can we do that without putting anybody's lives at risk and not putting anybody in danger? And it was live stream. So the absolute best advice was get creative, because you're going to need to.
Yeah, exactly. Like these live streams,
Yeah.
and everything's on the internet. That is, and even in general, not just because of the shutdown and stuff, but definitely I would say just being creative in general. Finding out different ways, finding different ways to, because you said earlier, you even said that music is sometimes a job, and it's kind of like, oh my God, I don't want to do this right now, but if you have to, you got to figure out ways that you can quickly get inspired to do, whatever it is you have to do, whether it's writing or performing or mixing and mastering, things like that. It's definitely some great advice. Um, if you could change anything about the music industry, what would you change?
I would change, um, I would change the amount. I think that we need more diversity in the music industry. And if there was a way in a perfect magical world, that we could kind of take away a bias about a person on how they look, um, and instead just listen to the music and let the music speak for the artist. I would really, really, really love that, because I think that's important.
For sure. Yeah, there is definitely a huge bias in the industry, and that's that's a really good point, because at the end of the day, music is music, and but also, with the whole music business as a business, it
Yeah.
really takes away a lot of, when it comes down to it. Sorry, I'm looking at some of these comments in the chat. When it comes down to it, you're as an artist, and maybe you're with, like, and labels are looking at you. They're looking at you as not even, yeah, you're an artist, but you're also there to make them money. So
Of course.
Yeah,
and of course.
when you think about
and that
it,
is completely understandable at
right.
the end of the day. I think I am very, very, I'm very pro artist, and I'm very, like, I want people to be as experimental as they want to be, because when you break boundaries, that is when you create something new and something very exciting. So I completely, I get it. I mean, it's the business,
Oh, for sure.
And but yeah, but yeah.
And that mentality from the labels, it kind of does, like, strip down the, like, it makes it seem like it's all a business, and there's no, like, they take away the creativity almost, to an extent. But I get what you're saying. Definitely, there should be a way that if there was one thing to change, for sure.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome. Okay.
Thanks.
Let's see. What are we now? Okay, so big question here. One of the big goals of the podcast. What are your goals as an artist in Louisville?
I want to implement a new scene in Louisville. I want to kind of start the, like, not to say I've started, sorry, backtrack. I want to add to the new scene, that is definitely, starting to rise, like the alternative pop scene.
Yes.
And I also want to, I have a million goals. I mean, I want to win so many Grammys that I have to buy a shelf for them. I want to do
Fire.
a million different things. I want to play Madison Square Garden and the Yum Center and all those kind of things. And those are long-term goals for sure. But yeah. Also just be a good voice for people. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Really, like, a very relatable artist that people can look to my music, and that they feel like it might get them through something, or
Totally.
just something that people feel deeper than just a song on the radio.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. That's those are awesome goals, Kyren. Seriously, stick to those, especially about people hearing your music, and they might, it might help them get through something. Those are definitely important goals as an artist. And being a voice, I like that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So, where have you taken your singing? You said you've been to LA, Nashville. Where were you? Have you been out of the country with your talent, or what other places have you been?
I have not been overseas yet. I want to go so bad. We had plans of going. We had some little opportunities popping up before this whole shutdown happened. But who knows? Maybe those will still happen. Maybe they won't. But yes, I've been to LA a few times. I've been to Chicago. I've been to Nashville, NYC, New Jersey, Indianapolis,
Yeah.
surrounding Cincinnati, like pretty much all of like the hub cities around here I have been. The only one, and I have to go, is H-Town, Houston, Texas. I want to go to Houston, and I want to just like be there for a week and see some like local shows. So when it's safe to do that, I'm going to plan myself a little trip down to Houston.
Down to Houston. That's awesome, dude. I would love to go. I've been
Yeah.
been to Texas. I've been to San Antonio, but I haven't been to Houston. But that's awesome. Yeah. So
Yeah.
You know, taking those trips and traveling, what different perspectives did you bring back or bring to your art that helped you improve from the different places that you've been?
Sure. Yeah. So the second time that I went to LA, I stayed with my friend Lily. She's an amazing, amazing songwriter. She is Lions on Instagram, if you guys want to check her out.
Nice.
And she gave me some like really good feedback about my music. I got to go to a couple studios while I was down there. And I got to hear a lot of music when I was in LA that I wasn't hearing in Louisville. Till this day, I can't really describe exactly what it was about music that I was hearing from like artists out there that were at my level to artists in Louisville. But it was a noticeably like regional thing. Sorry, I'll try not to kick my camera again.
Okay.
But it was like and everybody knows like the West Coast has sound, that is theirs. And just like the East Coast has sound that is theirs, and those characteristics of that sound, in any scene. But even before I went out to LA, I listened to a lot of LA-based artists. The Neighborhood, Frank Ocean. I believe Frank Ocean's from LA. Maybe not. I don't know. Fact check me, guys, if you want. I don't know.
Let's see.
And I also think that being in a city like that's always alive. Everybody's has their lives going, and it's intersecting in a million different ways. It just that energy out there, it's a real thing. It is a real thing. And it does wonders when you're a very empathic artist like myself. And then same thing, in New York, like when I was out there, it was music I had never heard before. And, like just different elements in music, different flows, just absolutely a unique kind of sound. And, I'm just so happy I got to be a part of it.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I've been out to LA, and I went to visit my cousin in San Diego, and then we went to LA, and I went to LA, and it definitely is a city that really never sleeps. Like there's a whole different, like you said, it's regional, a whole different vibe out in LA. It's super dope, super cool experience. So, okay, so kind of going along with these, so the regional perspectives here, where do you see Louisville's creative scene or artistic and creative scene in 5 years? What do you think is going to happen? What's going on, you think? Just kind of in general.
Yeah. I think that, I think it's only up from here. And I think that if we keep supporting each other, John Woo is a very, very, a very active member of the music scene. And I think he, pre-corona, he would always hold these producer corners, and it would be like the scene would be there.
Yep.
150 people who are, musicians, rappers, producers, singers, songwriters, yada, yada, yada. I think he said it well. He said that one producer's corner, he said, we have to support each other or we're never going to get past where we are now.
Yeah.
And I think that that's, super important. And I think he's completely right. I think that in the next 5 years, as long as we keep on this incline of all of us getting better and really taking the time to make good music and to really put our blood, sweat, and tears into this, then I think we have the potential to be a hub city. Absolutely.
I never really heard anybody say we have the potential to be a hub city. That's awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Well, great. I'm glad you feel that way because I agree. I've talked about John Woo on this podcast and referenced that what he said about supporting each other and we have to stop nickel and diming each other, especially.
That is the true thing. Yeah. That is yes.
Here in Louisville,
a lot of people aren't. It's hard, when you're a starting out artist. I was working 2 jobs to afford studio time. Like, I feel it. I definitely feel it. And Woo is the man. He is the man.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Hopefully I'm gonna get him on here someday. He's he's got I hope, and I'd love to see those producer. That's a lot of people in one place, but hopefully they can start those up again sometime soon. I don't know. Right now it's kind of looking like things are probably gonna start shutting down again, honestly, but maybe not. We'll see. I can't make that call, but well, that's awesome, Kyren. I'm glad you're feeling that way. You have a really good positive vibe and energy about you. So let's take a little bit of that, and let me ask you, we're going to move on into the Lush lockdown. I got a few questions for you. I'm going to give you 10 seconds, and I'm going to ask you, it's just like a pretty specific question about what you would do in a certain situation in Louisville. So
okay.
Yeah, it's very easy. You it's not anything difficult. All right. Oh, not 10 minutes. Let's get 10 seconds here. Okay.
10 seconds on the clock.
10 seconds. All right. Kyren's been put in the game. She got 10 seconds. All right. You're in Louisville. You've got $10. Where are you going to eat? You got 9 seconds.
Highland Coffee.
Highland Coffee. That's your favorite place. Highland Coffee is your favorite place.
So good. Yes.
Really? What do they have to eat there?
Yes.
Is it what all is there to
They
eat?
have like little scones and muffins and stuff like that. And you can get a coffee.
Cool. Wow, I've never heard anybody say that's their favorite place, but that's awesome. Sweet. All right. Good job. You got that one in about 3 seconds. Okay. Let's see. There's a couple more. Okay. You're doing a show.
Okay.
You have the opportunity. It's one show, but there's 3 different venues. You have the option to choose 3 different venues. Okay, they give you the option to perform at the Palace, at Headliners, or at Diamonds on Barrett. Which one are you picking? You got 10 seconds.
I'm picking the Palace because there's just such a beautiful old aesthetic to it that I would do a visual show. I would kill it.
Yeah, for sure. Who would not want to perform at the Palace? I was going to say the Yum Center, but then obviously who would not want to perform at the Yum Center? The thing with the Palace is when people do
No, not the Yum Center. No, I'm good.
When I've seen I've seen a few rap shows at the Palace, and the thing, they just have all those seats, you know what I'm saying? And it's like for a rap show, it's kind of just like it was cool, but I don't know. But you're right, it's a very old and aesthetic building, and it's super cool. So that's a good point. Yeah, I would definitely choose the Palace too, for sure. Okay, last one. This is I like to ask this one just because I never really know what anybody's gonna say. Your friend has
Okay.
your friend has given you 2 free tickets to see the Louisville Bats play. Are you going or not? You got 10 seconds.
No.
No. Oh,
No.
wow.
I hate sports.
Wow.
No,
Oh, really?
I'm not.
Okay.
My dad, deadass, my dad made me sit through so many hot summers. And if anybody had to go to the Bats games, they know it's like a $10 hot dog, and you're just direct sun for hours. But
Yeah,
we love the Bats.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
that's
sure.
such a good question. That's funny.
Yeah, it's a $10 hot dog, but there's nothing better than stadium food. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I can think of so many other places that I would eat.
That's
I'm
probably
okay.
true. But man, like a bratwurst at any stadium for real, honestly. Like for me, I would go. I haven't been to a Bats game in like 10 years, but I would definitely go just for the food, and it's definitely always a good time. But I get what you're saying. If it's hot, oof, it's over. Like it is not fun, but you know. So, well, Kyren, great answers. Some very good questions. That's pretty much all I have for you, but I wanted to say thank you for coming on here. I'm glad I was able to reach out to you and get a hold of you, and you've got, again, a great positive energy about you, a good vibe, and you made some good points about Louisville as a city and coming up as an artist, and I really, really enjoyed having you on here. And I appreciate all the input.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kev. I really, really appreciate it. I have had so much fun sitting here talking with you today. And thank you to everybody who tuned in and watched this.
Yes.
I really appreciate everybody's support, and I know Kev does too.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Kyren, I really appreciate it again. I will talk to you soon. And everybody keep streaming her single, Heartbreaker. It's out and it's available. And then let's real quick. You can follow Kyren at. Let me zoom in here.
At who is Kyren on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all the things.
Yeah. So there it is, folks. Follow her, give her a shout out, and Kyren, I appreciate you being in here. And I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Be safe. Yep. Bye. Okay. Well, another pretty successful episode, I would say. That's awesome. Kyren's here, giving some great points. She got a great attitude. That's really very important, being an artist here in Louisville. And, she even kind of spoke on some things that I have spoken on before about John Woo and the community. Talking about supporting each other and stop nickel and diming each other. I've talked about that before in a few different episodes. So that was cool. She kind of brought that back into perspective. And, guys, I do apologize for the video output. I was trying a few different new things with my device, and I guess I just kind of screwed it up. But hopefully, I know Mitch said the audio was not. He said it's not as bad now, but the stream now is like, I don't even know how far behind you all were. But, so I apologize for that. I'll fix that for next time. The video will be up on YouTube and within sometime this evening. I'm going to do some editing because I did have to stop the stream and the recording a few times, but that's okay. It's part of it. And guys, successful episode, episode 7 of Lush Louisville. It's always a blast. Again, we're here shining light on Louisville native creatives and their work and getting them exposure and just having a good time and talking about what they do. And, guys, so tune in. I'm in a wedding again this Saturday, so I will not be here, but we'll resume on July 18th. I've got another special guest coming in, and it should be a good time. So, guys, I appreciate all of your love and support, and keep tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe.